Hello, and welcome back to the Flashback podcast.
Hi.
Uh, as always, I'm joined by Rowan.
Hello.
Coin is not here this week because she just didn't find the time. She is editing for it though, so
Yes, very exciting.
we thank her. We thank her a lot for that.
Mm-hmm.
This week we're doing The Dark Knight, the second movie in the Batman Nolan trilogy,
And
I'd like to get something off my chest right here.
Go for
I
it.
do not think this is even close to the best superhero.
Best superhero movie?
At least, yeah, it's the best Batman movie, no doubt. But the best superhero movie is a stretch.
I am going to agree
At
with
least in
that.
my opinion.
I think there are better superhero movies. And I think a lot of them are indie as well, which is interesting.
Yeah. So, Iron Man obviously started this. Well, it's this and Iron Man started a whole new wave of comic book movies.
Yeah.
And it's easy to tell where people are coming from with this being the best.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely stylized in a way that makes it feel original, which helps people like it a lot. But we were going to talk about the news first.
Yes. Not only did we get casting news for Bart Allen, which I don't think we talked about, but we might have. It's Jordan Fisher who's playing Bart Allen, who's going to be Barry Allen's son in the show, not grandson. Which makes me think that they're replacing the Tornado Twins with Excess and Impulse. But we've also officially got our first look at his actual costume.
Yeah. Which is very exciting.
And I am very, very excited. That's it for the news as far as I'm going. I am going to go ahead because I feel like we're going to get through a lot of these points really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the trivia for this movie.
Sure. So we were talking while watching this movie about how it's one of the first bat suits where you can move the neck.
It's not one of, it is the first one. And I looked it up while we were watching.
I'm going to bring up another that is not mentioned.
Is there another before this one?
There is.
Whose?
TV show dude, sorry. In the TV show, the old TV show, because of the material it's in.
You mean fabric?
Yes, because it's plain old fabric. He can move his neck. Because it's stretchy cloth.
I'll give you that one.
But this brings up my question of what live action Batman suit would you prefer to use? Like if you had to Batman about. And I'm asking you this.
Out of all the Batman? Or out of those
all
two?
The live action Batmans.
Ben Affleck's.
Interesting. Can I tell you why you're wrong?
This is an opinionated question. This is not a right or wrong situation.
Only it is. Because you can't Batman in Ben Affleck's outfit because he can't hear. There's only one Batman outfit where you can actually hear what's going on and turn your neck. And it is the old cloth one, which is terrible.
I'm not fighting crime in Adam West's bat suit.
It's the only acceptable one for you to fight crime in. Also, yeah, and then, again, the Dark Knight movie doesn't feel like a Batman movie to me. It feels more of like a Joker movie to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real fast before we get into the usual things.
Go forth.
Actually, I need to find it. We should just get started, and when we get to that point, I'll read this up.
Okay. So characters. We have Batman / Bruce Wayne as our main protagonist. The Joker, Gordon, who has yet to be in charge and has his own task force. Who else? Scarecrow, Alfred. Scarecrow's
Your
in
favorite character.
Yes, Scarecrow's in it for like 10 seconds, but he still gets named. Two-Face / Harvey Dent, the worst ever created being on any film, and Lucius Fox.
Okay.
All the important people. All listed, right? That's all the important people.
Rowan's hatred of Rachel Dawes continues into this episode.
She is the worst.
I really don't care about her. I don't think she's good or bad. I don't understand where your hatred of her comes from.
I cannot explain it other than the fact that she is literally the most useless additional character. Like, there were so many other actual Batman characters you could have put in her spot that would have been way more interesting in the first one. And then you just don't have this Harvey, Rachel, Bruce love triangle. And you have one Harvey and this other chick who is dating Harvey, who is not Rachel, is stuck. You have Harvey going, choose not Rachel. And Batman's like, okay, I follow your way. And chooses not Rachel and still ends up having to save Harvey. And he still gets to go on the same spiral, just without the weird love triangle.
How long was that rail?
Not that long.
Let's see how long my I don't know. That's odd. Okay, I can't scroll. So
relationships in this movie that we were tracking.
Yes.
Involves how Batman and Joker react to each other.
Yeah, Batman and Joker, Batman and Gordon, Alfred and Bruce.
Very important. Two-Face and Rachel's romance.
No, that says twos and Rach.
It's very clear what that means.
Yeah, twos and Rach. The most famous Batman characters. Batman and Rachel.
Okay, if we're gonna call me out for twos and Rach, we have to call me out for B and the worst.
Oh my god.
Because
Two-Face and Bruce, which Rowan added, not romantic, but better than the actual romance.
The actual romance is stupid. But Two-Face and Bruce actually, no, sorry, Harvey and Bruce have the most wholesome interactions when they interact.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we really have to list the places that are in this movie.
We do go out of Gotham for like 3 scenes, which is fun.
Yeah, we get to go to China for
Now in description.
I don't think we need to go into detail about the plot either, because most people that are going to be listening to this that enjoy superhero movies have seen this movie.
Sure. I have...
I think we go into a few select scenes.
Okay. I really enjoyed the first scene, which is the Clown Heist. I think it's a great...
I do as well.
I think it's a great introduction to the Joker, especially if, like, the audience isn't aware of who the Joker is at that point.
Yeah. I also do enjoy the next scene, which is Batman not only stopping a gun deal, but stopping a bunch of copycats who are also dressed as Batman.
With the Scarecrow.
That are just straight up using guns.
I love the Scarecrow.
Yes, and the Scarecrow.
Let's see.
We find out that this is not the first time the Joker has been in Gotham, which was kind of clear from the end of Batman Begins.
But there's been 2-3 years in between it, so you might not remember that.
Yeah.
There's a ballerina for a couple scenes. Yeah. She just disappears.
And then one of the best scenes in the entire movie is the Joker with the mobs,
Mm-hmm.
the various mob families,
Yeah, that's
which is where the famous "want to see a magic trick."
yeah.
How about a magic trick comes from?
And eye things creep me out way more than any other like body horror items, and that's just terrifying to me. Um, then so the Hot Milky Scene happens.
Okay, you need to explain what that means.
Okay, it's referencing a meme, but basically it's the scene where everyone is in the courtroom screaming like not guilty at the judge because there's like a bajillion people being arrested. But there's a meme that's like someone mouths at the person not guilty and the person says hot milky instead. I can't explain it without there being like text involved. I'll show it to you later.
Okay. The fake Batman from previously got as Rowan put it.
I said
which
get got.
Is to say that he was hung out of a window by
He
his
is
neck.
dead. Then they threw a very fun party. I love parties.
Yes, they throw a fundraiser for Harvey. What is the next one?
The OG is dead. It's the scene where at the funeral, the original Gordon dies.
What do you mean the original?
Because OG is original gangster, so I changed it to original Gordon.
It still doesn't explain what original Gordon means.
I just wanted to use the phrase original gangster in the notes, but OG doesn't work for Gordon because he is the most straight-laced person in the entire Batman universe.
Okay.
So now it's original Gordon.
Okay. Hangry, which I believe refers to Harvey being angry.
It does. It's a portmanteau.
The car chase with Joker in the truck, trying to get Harvey.
Which is cinematically gorgeous if you can see it with how dark it is.
Yeah. Gordon be back.
Gordon be back.
And then there's... I do want to talk about it, even though we don't have it written down. I want to talk about the interrogation.
Oh, that's
terrifying. Probably the most famous scene in the...
Yeah. It's famous and brilliant, but it's terrifying.
It is terrifying. I just love Gordon knowing that Batman's already in the room. I love that it's obvious they've interrogated people together before.
Yeah. It gives you a sense that this world began before this movie and didn't stop after the last one.
Right.
It's nice. Then
Joker kidnapped both Harvey Dent and Rowan's favorite character.
And Bruce chooses wrong. Bruce Wayne chooses wrong. And I do not accept this.
Bruce chooses to go after Rachel and not Harvey.
Wrong
but
choice.
Joker flipped the addresses, so Harvey is the one that gets saved. Kind of.
Rude.
I can't believe we were going for 15 minutes.
Then I have written in the notes that is a felony. You can't legally burn money. You don't burn money, and you cannot damage money. It's a felony. You will go to prison.
Rowan? I don't think the Joker cares about committing felonies.
Except for he does his taxes. It's a felony.
Did you know that the one thing that pinned Al Capone down was tax evasion?
Yes, it's why you don't evade the IRS. They will get you. He also died of syphilis. I know way too much about Al Capone.
Then... next one you can talk about.
Sure. There's the dude from way earlier in the movie who I'm sure if you are just listening to this and haven't watched the movie recently, you don't remember, who finds out who Batman is.
And tries to blackmail him in one of my other famous.
But he failed because...
With Lucius saying, so you think that your client, who's one of the most famous billionaires in the world, is a vigilante, and your plan is to blackmail this person?
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Freeman is one of the best people playing it, by the way.
Morgan Freeman's great.
I absolutely love him.
And he had some great lines in this, which reminded me of him in Shawshank Redemption, but not at all the same character.
Right, yeah.
But the dude is now trying to do it on national television,
But this is because, not because he wants to blackmail him, it's because Joker is threatening to kill a whole bunch of people if Batman's identity is not exposed.
That's true. He isn't being terrible here. But the Joker's like, let's everyone kill him or we'll blow up a thing. And to save him, Bruce Wayne, in Bruce Wayne mode, crashes a Lamborghini, which I don't know if you've looked into cars recently. Those are pricey, into a van to save him. And
I think he has some more expensive cars.
Doesn't mean that's not gonna, I understand that's barely gonna cause a dent in his daily allowance, but it's still a lot.
Capitalism.
But then he causes a hospital to explode. Not him.
The hospital.
The Joker does. But.
Next is one of the best scenes in all of these.
It is literally possibly one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. And it is the two boats, the one with the prisoners and the one with the public, who have, the explosive devices on the other sides. And it's a great, if this movie was the worst movie ever created, but that scene was still in it, I would still mark this movie up to, my top 20.
Yeah. So, did you mention what the scene was? I saw that.
Thank you for
Or were you just vague the whole time?
I was super vague. There's two boats, one with the normal populace and one with prisoners, high-level prisoners on it. And they have...
Specifically prisoners that are already dead.
Mm-hmm. They have bombs on each of the boats. But the, doohickey, that's the word I'm going to use, on the other side is on the other boat. So each boat can explode the other one and survive, or wait till midnight and don't.
Right,
and a prisoner who, the actor looks super familiar, but I don't know who he is at all.
The character, I've always believed to be Bronze Tiger. Just because of the tattoos on his neck and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because I just want to believe that there's non-Batman characters in these movies.
Solid, I'll believe that. He throws the device off of the prison ship so that they can't explode the public, even though the guards are going to. And then, the public is very much ready to explode the prisoners. And I think it's a great dichotomy of people who know their limits versus people who have never tested them.
Yep.
And then in one of the last scenes, H is dead. H being Harvey.
Yep. Harvey dies. It's because he tried to go after Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And Batman pretty much just kills him.
Yeah. I mean...
Tackles him to try to save Gordon's son.
He has to save Tiny Gordon.
Yes.
It's not... It feels less than murder, but more than accidentally having him die. It's in a weird gray area.
He probably would have saved him on the other hand. He had to save.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
this first point is yours.
Yeah. So the banker, I really enjoy the banker with the gun, and I have in my notes that I was a shotgun, but I think it's a sawed-off shotgun, not a normal shotgun, or it might be a Sigsar, and I cannot tell at the moment.
Those sure are words. I don't know anything about shotgun.
I know very little about guns, but I know what gun you should have if you are working in the Mafia, and what gun it was on the
Of course
screen.
you know.
Yeah, you should have a Sigsar. It's the best gun, and for working in the Mafia purposes. Next
The
point
next one
yours.
is mine. Is the Joker is a dick to his men. He's just killing them throughout the entire bank heist. And I think it's hilarious. He's just so desperate not to let them in that he just kills them.
Yeah, and he has like plans for the others to kill them as well. Oh, there's a line.
Next one's yours.
Yeah, number 3 is me. There's a great line in by Shotgun Banker that's something along the lines of criminals used to believe in something, which I think is just
Yes.
great, like, I don't know. It's like all the main criminals in Batman things have a reason, except for the Joker, who just does this for fun. So I think it's a great line to talk about, like, everything that happens next.
Yeah.
I think for
The next one we kind of already talked.
yeah.
The next one's yours.
Yes, it
and
is.
I don't understand.
Scarecrow is much like Superman's ice breath. In theory,
In what way?
You can use it in wonderful ways and make it fit it in your story amazingly. In practice, no live action has ever successfully done it that well.
Isn't this the only time Scarecrow's appeared in live action? No, he appeared in Gotham.
Yeah, he appeared in Gotham, and that was, it was fine.
That was better. That did Scarecrow better than this one.
It did do Scarecrow better, but I think we could do better.
The only time I can think of Superman's freeze breath being used properly is all within this year, within 2021.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League and Superman and Lois.
Yeah, which, by the way, I watched the first episode for that recently.
You did? What do you think?
Did. I love it. I don't want it to be about Superman and Lois, though. I want it to be about their kids, who are far more interesting.
It's about all 4 of them.
I know it's about all 4 of them, but I don't care about a news job and a Superman. I care about 2 super teams.
You will.
I mean, of course I will.
I want this known. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I hate Superman.
You have mentioned this every time Superman's been mentioned in a movie.
Okay, well now I know that I've mentioned.
I love
Superman and
all
Lois
versions.
is one of my favorite shows.
Oh, I find him so delightful. But
This is the only time Superman has ever been done in live action correctly.
I agree. And also,
Fight me in the comments.
Bruh, they won't have to. I will. Have you heard of a man called Christopher Reeves? I mean, look at him. Look at him. Look at him and tell me. Look at me and tell me he's not the perfect Superman. Look at him. I'm gonna keep showing you. Here you go. Here's more. Just look at him. Physique. The face. The muscles. The jawline. Perfect.
I enjoy Tyler so much in his portrayal. And that's all we're going to talk about that.
Yes, we will probably.
Then
We should just do, like, specific shows instead of just going through the...
yeah, we should just talk about shows. Less formally.
Yeah.
I really enjoy, or half of this next part's you and half of it's me.
Yeah. This little line, this is probably the only line from Batman that I've always got memorized, and that's I'm not wearing hockey pads.
To which I responded, the elitism. Because, no.
The elitism of what? Being able to be in a company where you can get military grade parts really easily.
So elitist. Like, other people can be superheroes without having the money. It's not all reliant on that.
This next point, I don't think you mentioned before. I think you should go into an in-depth
I
discussion about this
truly hate Rachel with all my heart, all my soul. You will not find me hating most characters in a superhero movie or TV show, but you will find me hating Rachel Dawes more than I hate anything that has come out of J.K. Rowling's mouth in the last 3 days.
Damn.
I don't know what she said in the last 3 days, but I'm assuming it's her same old stupid I'm a boomer rhetoric, and it is as equally as terrible as Rachel Dawes.
I feel like a hypocrite, because if we do end up doing the Flash, then I'm going to have a whole section of the podcast dedicated to me screaming about how annoying Iris is. I really do not like Iris in the show.
Okay, here's the thing, though. It depends on who's writing her that year. Like,
True.
It's completely dependent on the writers. And so is Rachel Dawes. Number 8 is us just mentioning that the Mafia's here. I spelled it wrong, but that's not on me.
Really?
I can't
It's
spell.
not on you?
I really hate...
You really refuse to write her name down.
I didn't realize I did that throughout all of this.
Yeah, we have a page of notes in case you aren't familiar with the podcast. Things that we want to get through talking about before we just discuss things.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout all of them, the only place that Rowan has actually written her name is in the characters section. Otherwise, it's always referring to her to Rachel as her.
There's only one female in this whole freaking movie, except for the ballerina who disappears
And the bad
partway through. Yeah, no, she doesn't count.
Why?
Because she has 3 lines and is in a uniform the whole time, which means that she is not there to represent. It's like in film, she is not representing the female group. She's representing cops, which is a whole different group. And she has 3 lines, and one of them is "I'm sorry" or "pass the mayo," something like that.
Pass the mayo? What?
It's like one of her lines is so off the cuff. You're just like, sure, you had a line. Good job. Then Rachel has a line about how her and Jim are friends. They're not. They've worked together once, and they share a mutual friend in Batman.
Like you said, it has been 2 to 3 years since Batman Begins.
Fine.
It is fully plausible that they have built up a friendship through the legal system, because they are both part of the legal system.
Fine. I have white...
Did you say something?
I agreed with you.
Okay.
I
can't. You're cutting out on Discord a lot, so I'm probably not going to hear everything you say until I listen back to this.
Solid. I then have White Knight written SpongeBob style.
The meme of SpongeBob as a chicken.
Yeah, was that not clear?
As in alternating letters. Well, SpongeBob style could mean in the font. It could mean anything. SpongeBob's been on for 20 years.
I don't know.
22 years now.
I've never seen an episode of SpongeBob.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't...
Live hero, die villain.
I didn't have it. Yeah. It's like the most quoted line from any Batman movie, and I think it's just alright.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of overrated aspects.
Yeah. Also, they have great lines. Number 12 is also me. I take the most notes because I forget stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fun. I really hate when characters call him the Batman. I think...
Batman.
It just sounds so unclean, especially in a live action thing.
I mean, it does make more sense grammatically.
No, because
He
you
is
don't
the
go.
Batman.
You don't go the Richard,
He is a man.
the Rowan, the Tristan.
Rowan. He is the Batman.
He's Batman. It's his name. It's not his title. He's not the Lord of Batman. And he's just Batman.
I am the Lord of Batman.
I don't know if 13's me or you, but I don't know what that means.
You wrote that. It was when Batman disappeared off the roof and Gordon just goes, he does that.
Oh, I find that delightful. Batman just disappearing and Gordon being used to it at this point. So much better than Gordon being like, what?
What? Why has that happened?
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of that is in Justice League when Barry stays and he's just like, well, they just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
It's rude.
It's a delightful scene. And I really enjoy that Barry too.
Yes. I also enjoy that Gordon. I love J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Then, I counted at least 3 how I got these scar stories.
There's only 3, yeah.
Yeah. I thought there was only 3, but then I thought there might be a hidden 4th that I missed, and I didn't want to see. Weird.
Number 15 is me. I'm going to find his name really quick. I meant to do that.
Okay, we'll go back.
He's an it.
No, 15,
Okay,
16,
we'll
and
go back.
17 are all you.
Are they all me?
Yeah.
16 is James and Barbara Gordon, both of them, because you see both. You see Commissioner Gordon, you see his wife, Barbara, you also see his son, James, and his daughter, Barbara.
Really
I'm
good
kinda
on the
sad.
naming.
I'm kind of sad in The Dark Knight Rises that we didn't see a teenage Barbara start to become Batgirl.
Yeah. Is the Dark Knight Rises the one with the Robin they won't call Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
It
wanted
also
to
takes
make-
place 7 years after, so it would make sense that it would be
Yeah, she could be
at
bit
least a
old.
preteen.
Yeah. We also could have just not dealt with that Robin situation. I love that movie too. I just feel like they should have
I
called
do, too.
Robin.
Big Bad Harv I wrote because he starts becoming Two-Face before being Two-Face, which
Yeah.
also happens in the animated series and The Long Halloween, I believe.
And
But when that does happen, they refer to that other personality as Big Bad Harv.
I think also when I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, which I could not be, when we finally get the, like, Two-Face backstory in the comics, he's being Two-Face before he's Two-Face as well.
Yeah.
18's mine. Gotham! I don't understand how its roads work. I really don't. It's all like, bleh. There's a point where they have to go under other roads and then are just driving for like 8 minutes under another road. And I've been in cities, many of them. Nothing is as confusing as this.
Alright, so I'm going to go back to 15 because I found his name. His name is David Dashmalchian. I think that's how it's pronounced. He is in pretty much every DC universe.
Good on him.
He's in The Dark Knight, which is apparently his first movie. He's in The Dark Knight. He's in Suicide Squad. He's going to be Polka Dot Man. He's apparently in Batman The Long Halloween Part 2 as Calendar Man, so which means he's probably also in Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's also in The Flash and Abracadabra. This isn't DC, but he's in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ant-Man.
Solid.
This man is everywhere. He's in Gotham as another Joker support.
Nice. I really love a good working actor, you know? We just don't have enough working
DC
at...
absolutely loves this man.
Yeah. Oh, I really enjoy the Joker telling the Batman, "What would I do without you? You complete me." That whole section's great. I think it also once more shows like the antithesis of who the Joker is, which also,
Hey, Rowan,
yes.
do you have some feelings about the next one?
No, I don't know at all what you mean.
You don't?
Nope.
You want me to go for this one? It might be mine, actually.
No, it's mine. I can read it.
I know.
Her death is meaningless because she is a meaningless character. That's not what I wrote, but that's the point.
I don't think we even need to say her name anymore. I think it's pretty clear who you're talking about.
The only female who could have died. Because there are no other females in this movie. I almost said there are no other movies in this female, which is a terrifying sentence.
There's just so many. We keep finding more.
But no, she's so annoying. And, like, you're supposed to kind of feel for her because, you know, she just died, but you don't. You feel more for Harvey. You don't feel for Bruce Wayne because he hasn't been dating her in 4 years, so it doesn't matter. But Harvey just proposed to her. And she just said yes, and now she's dead. And I care that Harvey cares, but that's about it.
I think the rest of these points are... The next point is the same thing that you just said.
Yeah, that was supposed to be indented. Like... So.
This next point's also yours, but I agree.
I love, the dramatic Two-Face turn, and I just love the prosthetics they used. I've really been enjoying prosthetics. Also, I've caught up on Legends of Tomorrow with the first 3 episodes. Love the prosthetics there. Of the new season, yeah. Love the prosthetics on the one character that I won't mention in case no one else has seen it yet.
Okay. Next one is my last point. It's not about money, it's about sending messages. I just really like that.
Yeah, again, it's a felony. Don't do this, people.
Burn your money.
Do not
Screw
burn your
capitalism.
money. I mean, yes, screw capitalism and everything it stands for, but it is a felony and you will be arrested. And I'm not a proponent of slave labor, so please don't burn your money.
Burn the money.
Or at least don't get caught.
Okay. Next point.
I really like the "I just do things" line from the Joker where he's like, "I don't have a plan, I just do things." I feel like
the Agent of Chaos monologue as a whole is one of my favorites. To the point where when I was in a drama class in 9th grade, I was fully prepared to just give that monologue.
Solid. Also, I don't ever want to go full research assistant style like analysis on any of this stuff. So if anyone's like, "Rowan, shut up, that's boring," please tell me and I'll stop. Final point. I truly need a map of Gotham in this trilogy. I understand it's an island. It's a borough, right? Gotham's a borough.
Yes.
But, there's these tunnels that are only sometimes in some places and sometimes they're not. Also, one of the tunnels, I swear, is on Main Street, which makes no sense if you've lived anywhere where, like, you've had to drive through tunnels. You don't have it off of Main Street. There's points where you're driving under roads for hours, whereas at a time that they call the lower section, which just, again, reminds me of how poorly they treat their lower class in Gotham in this trilogy. And oh my god, I think the actual bad guy might be Bruce Wayne in this trilogy.
Okay, so now we're through all of our points. I'm going to give some trivia
Go for
Um, this movie was delivered to theaters under the name Oliver's Army to avoid people trying to take it.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense.
Okay, what?
Care to share with the
Writing
cast?
brothers, Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan, have cited game theory as influential to the plot and its characters.
Game theory as
No,
in
they
the
did not.
YouTube channel?
That's my assumption.
Or game
But
theory...
it was 2007. When did game theory start?
Or game theory as, of course, the widely known mathematician thing with the dude who had schizophrenia. Was it schizophrenia? A Beautiful Mind. And I had to watch that movie for psych. Which, by the way, if you ever have a chance to take like psych through movies, it's really fascinating stuff. And I'm scarred for life and will never leave the house again.
Fascinating.
Thank you. I tried.
Next one. Let me find another. The lenses that cover Batman's eyes were possibly the first time that a live-action Batman has been seen with the white eyes, the way that the comic book usually have them.
Nice. I like that look.
I do too. They do it in Batwoman when she's using her
Batsuit.
night vision.
I also enjoy, like, so the new Spider-Mans are,
Okay.
the only time you have the Spider-Man eye moves.
Yes.
Right? And I love that a lot, because, like, half of Spider-Man's character is the movement of his eyes in his suit.
It is the mathematical one. It is not Matt Pat's game theory.
Okay, so the mathematical thing is worse, because I've done classes on game theory. I'm sure other people who are listening to this have as well.
This is one of my favorite trivia facts of all time for this movie. A video game adaptation was in production, similar to how they had one for Batman Begins, which is a very fun game in my opinion. But it was canceled because of technical difficulty. They were given... A small British game developing company was given the assets. They were called Rocksteady. They reworked the Dark Knight game into Arkham Asylum.
Nice. I enjoy that
So
one.
without this movie, we would not have Batman Arkham Asylum.
We would.
Which is one of the best games of all time.
Also...
Well, it was, but controls are kind of bad now, after having Arkham Knight.
Also has a connection to the CW, which just goes back to the other DC TV shows.
Yes.
Which...
This is the only Batman movie where Batman does not use Batarang.
I mean,
How many times can we say bat in the same sentence?
We see the Batarangs.
Yes, but he never throws them.
That's true. Also, again, on the Batman thing, when you're talking about a movie with Batman in it, you don't call it the Batman movie. That makes no sense, because he's not the Batman, he's
Rowan.
Batman.
Hey, Rowan.
Yes?
What's the next Batman movie called?
Shoot. 1 second. I don't remember.
It's called The Batman.
Doesn't count! It doesn't count! And I'll tell you why. Because they're specifically ripping it off of the fact that people keep calling him the Batman, which still makes no bloody sense. You bring out my non-American speak.
You don't call it The Batman. What about The Batman?
It's... Okay, that is the exception, not the rule. But, like...
Christian Bale got to keep the Batman mask after filming. He wanted the entire uniform. Didn't have the room.
I mean, that uniform must be so heavy. Could you imagine, like, trying to take that? Like, you know how some actors take stuff without telling the production? Could you imagine trying to do that with a Batman suit? I just find
Yeah.
it funny in my head.
Did you know that Chris Hemsworth was banned by his wife from taking any more cameras home?
I mean,
Because he has like 13 of them.
no, I did not. But I love that on a personal level.
He broke that rule by bringing Stormbreaker home.
That's an axe,
Yes.
not a hammer.
What?
Not a hammer, it's an axe, which is... Oh. No, never mind.
And it's also not Thor's. Just saying.
I...
Stormbreaker will never be Thor's. Stormbreaker is Beta Ray Bill's weapon.
I'll give you that. So I have, people... Never mind. I won't share that story on the internet about taking on this. Harry Potter has so many, like, he took his wands,
Oh,
plural.
you were so wrong about the time frame. Sorry.
I'm wrong about the time frame?
It takes place roughly 9 months after Batman Begins ended.
Okay, so originally I was talking about the movie, I believe, which takes place, which the movie came out 3 years after.
Okay.
But that still brings up my point that Rachel and Jim are then not
Jesus
friends. They have a shared friend, Max.
So are we not friends because we have a shared friend
No, because
that we both talk to more than we talk to each other?
we both talk to each other and like aren't specifically used as Batman pawns to get his plan across.
No, we're used to Gene font.
Gene pawns is acceptable for several other reasons, including maybe you ever think that I might be the person in charge of the chess and Gene is actually just the knight.
You were saying words. The
I am
character of
saying
Reese
words.
is an allusion to the Riddler, who attempts to reveal the identity of Batman. Much like Edward Enigma sounds like Enigma, Mr. Reese sounds like Mr. Reese.
Oh, it's like
That's so clever.
did you ever watch the 2010 animated Mystery Incorporated TV show?
I watched a lot of it. I haven't seen it all in order.
Okay. So there's a person they're trying to find whose name is Mr. E. Like they just have
Mr.
the
E.
last letter of E and it's Mr. E. And
Yeah.
and it's brilliant. Also, everyone should love Scooby-Doo, and to the one person I know who doesn't, fight me, you peasant.
What do you think of the new Scoob movie?
I
I know
hate
that
it.
the voice acting is weird,
I
but
hate
I
it.
still enjoy the movie.
It did some illegal things, and by illegal, I mean completely legal. It did some very rude, breaking the, like, rules of doing a Scooby-Doo movie, rules, and, like, did we really need, I don't know, say,
The bus crashing backwards into the opening scene was much harder to pull off than anticipated. The bus had to be taken apart and reassembled inside the building, which was a disused post office, concealed behind the large fake wall, and then propelled backwards with an air cannon. I just had an idea for a podcast. It does not involve crashing a bus into a building, I swear.
okay, that's good, because I cannot condone that, especially when you have a good bus that you could use for, I don't know, living.
Living in.
Yeah. I watched
It
way
made
too
more
many schooly stuff.
It made more money than Batman Begins' entire domestic run in only 6 days.
That makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like, I'm not saying that's a positive, but it makes sense.
Okay, this will be the last one, and then we can end this one.
Cool.
In Sir Michael Caine's opinion, Heath Ledger beat the odds and topped Jack Nicholson's Joker, saying Jack was a clown-like figure, benign but wicked, maybe a killer old uncle. He could be funny and make you laugh. He's gone in a completely different direction to Jack. He's like a really scary psychopath. He's a lovely guy, and his Joker is going to be one hell of a revelation in the future. Caine bases his belief on the scene where Joker pays a visit to Bruce Wayne's penthouse. He never met Ledger before, so when Ledger arrived and performed, he gave Kane such a fright that he forgot his lines.
Yeah, so you know how only one guy has all the rights to Batman?
Yeah.
That dude once said something along the lines of that Heath Ledger would be on the Mount Rushmore of Jokers if we had a Mount Rushmore with just like the 4 best Jokers of all times. That he'd be
How many have there been?
How many people have played Joker?
Yeah, there's been Jared Leto, Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson. The guy that played Cal from the Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm. Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
Are we only counting
He's confirmed to exist in the Arrowverse through a bunch of episodes of Batwoman.
Yeah, and also, he's referenced in Arrow, like, twice.
Yeah, but, he's also referenced in Crisis, but I don't feel like that counts.
Are we counting animated?
Mark Hamill would be on that.
Yeah,
Anyway, we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, we're getting close to time.
Yeah, I think we're good on time.
Yeah. Thank you all who listened this far. If you listened this far, I wouldn't have.
Rude.
And... yeah.
Alright, thank you so much for listening. Social media links are in the description. Subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah.